Okay, so I get that this title sounds incredibly nihilistic. No, I'm not shutting down the channel. I'm not getting rid of my collection. But this is just kind of my thoughts on why I'm losing interest in the future of gaming. Essentially, it's kind of becoming something that I'm not entirely happy with, but it's also because of my doing as well, and I will get into that. So, first things first, I should state off the obvious. I'm losing interest because I'm getting into other things as I get older. I tend to go out more now that I'm older, and when I go out, I don't really play games. I know a lot of people love portable gaming, especially with the Nintendo Switch. Good for them. I think that's great that they enjoy portable gaming. It's just not my cup of tea. Usually I like to game only when I'm at home sitting down on a couch, and so portable gaming is not really my thing. I'm going out more. I'm getting more into other hobbies like cars and motorcycles. I'm hanging out with my friends more, so obviously I'm losing interest that way. But another thing that is making me lose interest in gaming is kind of this inevitable outcome that is coming in the world of gaming, and that is a digital only landscape. And it's inevitable. It's going to happen eventually sometime. It may not be 5 years from now, it may not be 15 years from now, but it's going to happen eventually, and companies are pushing more and more for an all digital type future. I mean, you kind of saw Microsoft dip their toe in with the Xbox SAD, which was an all digital version of this Xbox right here. And then you see things like Google Stadia, you see things like the PlayStation 5 digital version, and I'm sure that there's going to be a digital version of the Switch. There's the Steam Deck, which is digital only. You see, like, Microsoft's getting more into streaming digital only games. There's the Xbox Series S, which I wish that came with a disc drive. I would have gotten one if it had. And it's digital only, and so there's this push for digital only titles. I tend to prefer physical titles. The only reason why I kind of get digital titles is if I see an incredible deal for them. Case in point, Assassin's Creed Origin and Odyssey I grabbed because they were the like ultimate editions for like 20 to 30 bucks each, which is incredible because the ultimate editions are usually $99 for each. So it's like, okay, I gotta grab these for a steal. I wish I was getting them physically, but you know. And then like PlayStation VR, a really obnoxious thing about PlayStation VR headsets is like 80% of all their games are digital only. And so getting into PlayStation VR, it was like, okay, I guess I'm getting most of these digitally now. And so, you know, I am getting some digital games, but I don't want the entire collection of mine to be digital because I like the case, I like the disc, I like the feel of an actual case in my hand. I like looking at the box art. I like opening it up, looking at the instructions if they have one. They don't do instructions anymore. I like reading the backs. I love lining the spines up with the other ones. I mean, it's kind of like a tribal process or a ritual for me. And I can't really do that when it's just digital. And I like storing them out. It's silly, I know, but I like when I'm really bored just sorting out my games by release dates, and then by company sometimes. I've only done that like once or twice, but by release date, definitely I've done numerous times. And so I can't do that with digital. Well, I can some digital because they do allow you to organize stuff, but you understand what I'm saying. And then another thing I cannot stand, this really infuriates me, is games are more and more becoming download vouchers only. And what I mean by that is like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and especially Call of Duty games, when you get that disc and you pop in a machine, there's one multiplayer map and one game mode and 4 loadouts, and that is it. If you want the campaign, zombies mode, multiplayer, Warzone, you have to install all of it. Even the campaign. Like, you would think they would let the campaign be on the disc, but no, there is nothing on the discs anymore. And it is so infuriating because the old Call of Duty games, I at least could enjoy the campaign without having to be online. New Call of Duty games, you need internet. You may be able to play the campaign offline, but you need internet to get that campaign. And so it's more and more, it's like I'm becoming less interested in even gain something, simply because no matter how I look at it, it's always going to force me online. And I hate having to be forced online to enjoy a game. Halo Infinite is a big problem with this. Halo Infinite, you get the disc, you install the disc, and surprise, surprise, the campaign is nowhere to be found. You have to install the campaign off the internet to be able to enjoy your disc version of Halo Infinite. That is wrong on so many levels. I would rather, you know, simple logic, the online multiplayer be the thing you have to install off the internet. You know, that would make the most logical sense, but we live in a world with no logic anymore. And so it's like, hey, let's put the single player campaign that you can play offline online, where you have to download it. And we'll make the multiplayer, the thing you need internet for, to be on the disc. Aren't I smart? I mean, seriously, I feel like this world is being run by fucking morons now. And speaking of internet, games more and more are becoming internet only. And look, I get it. I totally get when a game is online only. Like World of Warcraft. I get games like that being online only. It makes sense to me. Hell, I've even played a couple of matches of Fortnite. Another game that makes perfect sense to me. I get Fortnite. It's not my cup of tea. I don't have a lot of fun playing it. And I think the menu is an atrocious mess on Fortnite. But I get why people like playing Fortnite. It makes sense. You go on to a social area where every single person is controlled by a human player. It makes sense. But I get a murderous rage of homicidal passion in my soul whenever I see a game force me to be online and all I'm doing is fight against AI controlled bots. I want to hurt. No, not seriously, not seriously, but I do get murderous rage in my heart when I see games like that. And you're thinking, what games are like that? Okay, perfect example, Destiny. That game should not be an online only game, because 9 times out of 10, I am only ever playing against AI controlled bots. Another one is the Crew 1 and 2. Okay, playing against AI controlled bots. Another one is the Division 1 and the Division 2. What's really fucking special about those games is you have the game where you're playing against 100% AI controlled bots, and then there's a special section for when you play against human characters called the Dark Zone. There is absolutely no fucking reason why any of these games need to be online only. It is complete fucking bullshit, and it makes me want to break everything in the room when I hear that a game is going to be unnecessarily online only. Beyond Good and Evil 2, online only for no fucking reason. Destiny 1 and 2, online only. Anthem, online only. Oh, surprise! I am so surprised and shocked that Anthem crashed and burned. You know, the game from the single-player RPG developers of BioWare. You know, the thing where their entire fan base is 100% single-player RPG gamers. Gee, let's go outside of what we know how to do and make a game's live service online-only multiplayer shooter. Because that will go over perfectly well, like a hot shit in a Sunday church. I mean, what fucking morons. I mean, and again, Anthem is another game where you're fighting against AI-controlled bots all the time. Yeah, you could do co-op with human players, but I'm going to let you in on a secret. There are hundreds of games out there where, yes, you could go online and play co-op with your friends, or you can... Now, I know some of the developers of these games, like Destiny, Division, The Crew, Anthem, are the dumbest fucking morons on the planet Earth and won't understand this, but you can then go offline and play by yourself against the same AI-controlled bots. I know this is a revolutionary new idea for you guys, but developers, you need to stop acting like fucking idiots and stop making these single-player games online only. And again, with other games, like, perfect example, Gran Turismo Sport is predominantly an online game. It's one of the reasons why it's not one of my favorite racing games of all time, because as great as that game is, you can only unlock cars when you're online, and you can only get points when you're online. So it makes it where the offline play is just fucking useless. And then Gran Turismo 7 is 100% online because we wanted to make sure people couldn't cheat. Like, okay, honestly, how many people are realistically cheating by being able to play offline? I think you're being absolutely ridiculous saying that so many people are cheating. Okay? There are ways to look for cheaters besides fucking over every other player in your fan base. It's one of the reasons why I did not get Gran Turismo 7, because I am so fucking sick and tired of online-only games. I will not play them. Alright? Okay, I play Destiny 2 every now and then because it's free to play. So, sure, I'll play that every now and then, and I will eventually do a review on that one. But like Anthem, I play a little bit. It's like, yeah, I don't care because it's online only. I can't fucking stand this shit. And so many games are pushing for online only now. And like Sony, in their infinite wisdom, it's like, gee, only a handful of these games as a service IPs are actually successful. Like, you have Destiny, and then you have Apex Legends, and then you have Fortnite, and then Call of Duty. PlayerUnknown has been suffering, and a lot of other, so you have 4 successful franchises. Gee, as the head of Sony, let's push most of our development teams to make online games as a service games. Like, the brutal decimation of Sony is coming because they are pushing towards a model that is not even 50% successful. And Sony, in their infinite wisdom, is pushing for most of their studios to be working on games as a service games. They say we want to have 10 live games as a service games by 2026. Like, gee, so you're just going to burn all that money. I mean, I feel like I'm watching the Joker setting fire to that pyramid of money when I hear people talking about games as a service. Because for every Apex Legends, for every Destiny, there is an Anthem and a shit ton of others, like Babylon's Fall, The Avengers. That's been a real successful games as a service, not. I mean, you have twice as many failed games as a service as you do successful ones. And that's because people are getting tired of this bullshit. And that's also because people fucking hate the online-only requirement for games that don't need it, okay? Like, hey, here's something surprising, and I'm shocked that it's Ubisoft that did this, because they are the kings of making single-player games unnecessarily online-only. But they made Assassin's Creed Valhalla playable offline, and that's a games as a service. It's like, did someone at Ubisoft have a stroke? Because they completely ruined their Ghost Recon IP by making Breakpoint online only. Another game where you're only fighting against AI-controlled bots. So that's making me lose interest in a shit ton of games. Whenever I hear a game is online only, it's like, okay, you just lost this customer. Like, I am not going for that shit. Because if you think about it, in order to enjoy a video game, like, let's say, the original Halo, you need a TV, you need a game console, and then you need the game. You need 3 tiers. Yeah, you could throw in you need electricity as well, but let's just say you have electricity. So you just need 3 things to enjoy that video game. The TV, the console, the game. With an online-only game, you need the TV, you need the console, you need the game, and then you need the internet, and then you need a subscription service so that you can play online. So you need 5 elements to be able to enjoy an online-only game, where offline you only need 3. Which one sounds more simpler to you? Which one has less hassles? Which one has it where you don't have to worry about having internet? There's only one answer. And then another reason why I'm losing interest in video games, the future of video games, is because I have a shit ton of video games that I haven't played yet. And no, I'm not filthy rich. What I did was I just capitalized on any sale I come across. And there was all kinds of sales. Most of the games I have, I've gotten for $5 or $10. There's only like 1 to 3 games I have that I actually paid full price for. Because I have so many games, it's like I don't need to be there on opening night to get the new Call of Duty, because I got plenty of Call of Duties. Okay? Will I eventually get the new Modern Warfare 2? Sure. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I liked the first one, but I have plenty of Call of Duties to keep me held over until then. And so, like, honestly, I have a ton of games that I need to get around to reviewing. And honestly, while there's like 20 sword and sorcery games out there, I have Dragon Age. I have the Dragon Age series. I have Witcher. I have Skyrim. And like, honestly, with those, it's like, honestly, you gotta be showing me something that those aren't offering me. And The Witcher, Skyrim, Dragon Age, and even some of the Assassin's Creed, they're offering me everything that the ones I own are offering me everything that you're trying to sell me on. And so a lot more games are just like, 2 of my games combined have all that. And so I'm losing interest in that way. And that leads to the next problem, is that more and more games kind of are starting to feel the same. I mean, with open world games, I'm not seeing anything daring or new with open world games. Like, okay, Forspoken. Forspoken's a new open world game coming up, and that actually feels like it's adding something new with the way you handle traversal. You're basically just flying through the map, and it's not the typical way of traversing an open world map. But now these days, it's kind of like, now you're seeing one open world game, you're kind of seeing them all. And like, I was kind of hoping with the advent of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, when you actually get an open world map of, like, let's say Australia, you're actually getting the entire continent of Australia. But instead, we're just getting like these we're getting something the size of one of the province. And like, yes, Flight Simulator on Xbox Series X does give you the entire fucking planet to fly around. It's kind of cool in concept. I haven't played it, but I think that's really awesome that you can actually fly around the entire planet. But not enough open world games are doing stuff like that. Not enough games are doing these daring new ideas that I want to be seeing. It's just like, okay, that's like the previous 3 games I've seen, and that's like the previous 20 indie games I've seen. And so honestly, when I'm looking at a game now, I'm just looking at the graphics, because there's nothing new, bold, or innovative about the gameplay itself. So it's like, do the graphics wow me? No? Okay, I'm moving on. And I know a lot of people see that as being a very non-gamer way to look at games, because a lot of people look down on gamers that only care about graphics. But the way gaming's going, like, yeah, that's the only thing kind of exciting now, is graphics. I mean, I'm not seeing any bold new things with gameplay. I'm not seeing any amazing innovation. I mean, the Matrix Unreal 5 demo, that was mostly graphics. I didn't see anything truly amazing. Yeah, it was kind of fun seeing the cars crumple up, but until I see someone really capitalize on like damage effects in Unreal 5, I'm not seeing anything that's really impressing me in terms of new games. And one of the sad things about this is now, like, the only games I'm really excited about are remasters. I mean, like, I'm more excited about getting Crysis 2 and 3 Remake than I am getting a new adventure game. I'm more excited getting the Dead Space Remake than I am getting the Calypso Protocol. The Calypso Protocol is being made by the guy who created Dead Space. Obviously, I'll be more interested in that once they start showing more than just a teaser trailer for it. But like, the new game Quantum Error, like, honestly, I'm not terribly excited about that game. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. I'm sure it's going to be a fun game. But with Quantum Error, I would rather have the Dead Space remake, because I love Dead Space. I love all the elements in Dead Space, and it feels like Quantum Error is just doing Dead Space, but it has different elements to it, and I would much rather have Dead Space with the elements I like. And so, yeah, I'm more excited about the Knights of the Old Republic remake than I am the Quantum Dream Star Wars project that's being made. I like Quantum Dream. I like their stuff, like Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls and, you know, Becoming Human, but like, I would much rather go for the remake than the new stuff. And at that point, it's like, so I kind of feel like a relic now in terms of gaming, because the new stuff doesn't excite me anymore. It's the old stuff that excites me. And so, yeah, that's kind of why I'm losing interest in the future of gaming. Now, granted, this could change tomorrow. We might get some amazing new innovations. And there is one live service game that I do love play all the time, and that is No Man's Sky. But here's a little secret about No Man's Sky. You can play it offline. I can't stress this enough, how fucking stupid it is when developers put that online only requirement on games that do not need it. If you're making another Fortnite, then you throw that on. I want you to tell me that it's online only. But when I'm getting something like Back 4 Blood, where I could actually fight the zombie hordes with AI bots, but it says you have to be online. Or there's something like the Evil Dead video game where you can actually play some stuff by yourself solo, but you need to be online to do it. It just sends me through the roof. And so, anyway, that's kind of why I'm losing interest in the future of gaming. I hope some of these things change, but I doubt it. And so, my name's Christopher Connell with 11 Hour Reviews. Don't forget to, you know, do the thing. The thing. It's always the thing. And that will, unfortunately, be all.